exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Mark took a sip of his wine right before we started the intro.
I bailed. If you don't look at the video, John will redeem me here. Pull the eject cord. I'll take it now.
Well, today we're talking about the new, Noxian update that has just come out. We're going to talk a little bit about the cinematic that we just did a reaction to. That'll be up on our YouTube channel. If you want to see us freak out about all champions that we did not think Riot was going to remember existed. And we want to talk about the new map as well a bit, and there was an in-game comic and just kind of how we're feeling about the new season in general. Gameplay talk a little bit, probably, which is not something we normally do.
Talk. And we'll talk about the new skin line that came out, which is a canon skin line.
A canon Noxian skin line. But it seems like they're really trying to tie the lore with the gameplay a bit more, and you can kind of feel it in the new season for sure, and I'm kind of curious how they might reflect, Ionia in future updates and whatnot. But anyway, that's what we're doing. We got really sick last week, so if you're not on the Discord, John and I had COVID. We were horribly sick.
It was rough.
Could not. Yeah. Mark and I were going to record an episode.
They're also horrible people.
Yeah, we're also just awful people. Mark and I were going to record this episode on our own because we're like, we'll just talk about the gameplay. We kind of want to play ranked. We'll talk about our ranked history. And then I got sick.
I was going to say, that was when just I was sick.
I know, that was when
I gave it to
sick.
everyone.
Yeah, you did, including our daughter. But that's okay. It wasn't your fault.
She was a champ.
You tried.
No one's who's blaming.
No. Anywho, what do we want to talk about first?
I don't know. We could talk about Swift Play. I will say my exposure to the game so far on the new patch has been solely through Swift Play.
Yeah.
We could talk about the motion comic. That's also something that's like an actual piece of lore content.
Let's do motion comic, and then we'll transition that into the new
map, because it is about the new monster, the motion comic. Atakan. Has anyone come up with a fun name for him yet? No one's calling him Addy.
We were bouncing some around.
I know.
Hottie Oddy.
Hottie Oddy.
Hottie Oddy, thirsty for a hot toddy, something like that.
These are too long. Nickname. Like Dragon.
You didn't like Khan.
No one says Baron Nashor. You say Baron.
I like Oddy. Audi in 10, right? Audi in a minute, right? That sounds good.
I like that. Audi.
Audi Oxenfree.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say Audi for the next 45 minutes and then call that a podcast, right? They put out a little motion comic for him in the client. I'm trying to look up because he's also so Otacon existed before this as a Legends of Runeterra card. I'm fairly certain if you go back to the Mordekaiser episode, you might catch me mention him. Because especially in the card art there, I felt like he really had he was released with LeBlanc, I think. Don't quote me on that. And he has a lot of Mordekaiser sort of vibes about him.
Yeah.
Especially, if you look at him in this, they do a lot with that imagery, which makes sense. They're tied together as we find out in this comic. But he's called Otacon, Bringer of Ruin. I was trying to find what his old flavor text was, but it don't really matter.
I was going to say, I was curious because I know one of our questions was regarding after Mordekaiser got sent to the Death Realm, in what capacity did the bros start using him? That was kind of one of our...
Yes, the comic I didn't fully comprehend. John had explained it to me beforehand, so thankfully that helped, was having the context of it. But It was a very cool way to deliver the story.
Yeah, and I like just learning more about just, an epic monster on the map. That's cool.
That's true.
That's what I was going to say, is I'd like to see them kind of redo this with Baron. Baron's such a, some of the I feel like every once in a while
on the map.
I don't know, some imagine just some sort of, I'm still thinking through short stories, imagine some motion comic that was some nameless victim going down somewhere in Shurima and finding Baron, right, and what that meant, or some seasoned Void Hunter and Baron's way more than they prepared for.
Oh yeah,
right?
I love that.
I don't know. We went through the comic, right? So it tells the story of I didn't write down his name. John, did you write down his name?
I didn't write down anything. His
that's okay.
Otacon's actual name.
Yeah, Otacon's his OG name. It's we'll fill it in later, I'm sure. Rebecca, you can edit this in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who is sort of a very renowned general in old pre-Noxus, the Noxide tribes, warring under the banner of Mordekaiser when he was still alive. and he was unbeatable. And he's one of the best generals around. And then they make mention of this demon that shows up and slays this powerful general, and Mordekaiser decides to kind of fuse them together and to keep his star general. It's very Scion-y in a little way now that I think about it. And it works super good. It's a great idea, frankly, until Mordekaiser is killed, and then the power he held over the demon is sort of lost. So I'm pretty sure at that point, is he just dead then until LeBlanc brings him back, or does Mordekaiser eventually comes back?
Mordekaiser eventually comes back, and
as the Iron Revenant.
Yeah, and it seems like it
Revenant,
was implied that, like, I mean, Otacon was still around, but was way more demon than his old pal at that point. And he was like, I'm gonna need to fucking show this bitch what's what. And it seemed like he was able to reverse that somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for his real name, by the way, and came across the flavor text instead. So
I had found it. I didn't unveil a ton, I thought. But if you want, you can drop it here if you want.
I mean, it did definitely talk a little. I mean, in terms of our question, I know we were curious to what extent did the Black Rose use him, and his flavor text is very much, "Pale woman, release me. She will not let me rest."
Oh, LeBlanc.
Yeah.
I have come for you, LeBlanc, so you do remember me.
Which is where the comic kind of concludes,
Deceiver,
right?
Much like Mel does.
Yeah.
This was not
That's a
part
good name
of the plan. Your time has run out, Deceiver.
What's LeBlanc's current title right now? LeBlanc. Is it just the Deceiver?
I think.
Anyone know?
It's a big question.
We'll get it.
Because they should just change it to Deceiver. That's
right?
more cooler. Drop the.
Yeah, yeah. Let's fucking Facebook this. Drop the.
Drop the.
Yeah, it's the Deceiver. Okay. Deceiver is still cooler.
Yeah. Also, Otacon's real name is Katash Lee.
Yeah. But yeah, it sort of ends up that LeBlanc, because we find out that the comic is sort of being told from LeBlanc's perspective almost, and how she had waited to finally overthrow Mordekaiser, and so Otacon has been kind of stuck, I guess, dead in a sort of dormant state, and then kind of what we see in that card art and what the flavor text describes as them like reviving Otacon to then be yoked under the reign of the Black Rose and LeBlanc, right?
Classic Black Rose shenanigans.
Yep. So
cool that he drops a lot of roses when he dies.
Yeah, I had not thought about the rose thing. It's like you said when we were doing we talked about this when we were doing the reaction a second ago, that it's much more of a Black Rose. It's so much of a Black Rose like season, quote unquote, I suppose.
Yeah.
Than just a Noxus. Yeah. Right.
And I'm like,
which is neat.
I feel like part of me is like, all right, clearly they knew well in advance that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And like we talked about in Arcane, it seemed like they'd stuffed a lot in there. And I really feel like the main drive behind a lot of the Black Rose stuff was just knowing that a lot of this was going to be kind of coming out soon and going to be like the next thing that they tackled.
It is interesting. Maybe there was a really strong push for, because there are reasons certainly outside of just we think it makes a good story, why they're making these changes to how the seasons work and trying to tie it so heavily maybe into the world and kind of reintroducing regions and characters in some ways. Maybe there was a lot of push to like we need to get this to players a year earlier or 2 years or something like that, much earlier than maybe we had originally thought, something like that. So we can't have Arcane go for 2 seasons because we need to have the changes out in 1 season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something like
this
that.
Is going to be irrelevant next season.
Or, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'll be more and more interested to kind of keep looking back at Arcane season 2 as time progresses and see if there's any sort of like things that it unveils.
Right.
What y'all think of the comic? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, I liked the comic a lot. I like it. I love when they do motion comics. I feel like they do them typically very well. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're engaged. They're like a very engaging way to show the lore, and I imagine much cheaper than a cinematic, though I love that we got a cinematic too. But like, yeah, I think I get a lot out of the motion comics.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to see Riot, holding up to some of their end of the promise.
Yeah.
That, they're going to do storytelling in ways that aren't just... we don't get no Otacon short story, but he probably wouldn't work as well in the short story. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if we get more information about, like, Mel from all this, too, like, and we end up getting no Mel short story, like, that's fine. I mean...
I don't think we need one. I can't even imagine.
Be heavily featured in the novel that's fucking coming out in February, so I'm gonna assume we're not getting a short story from her. But, like, that's cool, because we're getting lore anyway, and that's what we want.
Yeah, and it makes me interested because, they have framed it also, like in the client, for example, as they're like being chapters. We're in chapter 1, right? Like maybe we'll get...
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure they maybe have said what the roadmap is, but maybe more motion comics, maybe more stuff that will... It's I don't know, it makes me kind of excited that Riot might feel like, okay, we're going to pick up a plot and we're going to carry it down the field. We're not going to like set up stuff and then leave it there. We're going to progress it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
season
it's
progress
much
it.
better. As much as we rip on Rise of the Sentinels and everything, it did have a beginning, middle, and end. I'll say that.
True. That's
a
true.
lot of their lore, historically, they have not done that. I mean, when you think about when they've killed Gangplank and all of that, everything was still left so up in the air after they did that event. Still very cool, obviously. Not taking Gangplank out of the game, that was a really dumb idea. But the the lore event itself was cool, because at the time they weren't really doing anything like that. But yeah, seeing a beginning, middle, and a end-ish to everything is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just randomly thought, wouldn't it have been so cool if they'd left Gangplank in the game, but only his spectral skin?
Oh, that would see. That's the trade you do, right? Like that would have been the better call.
I feel like I've seen or heard that suggestion from some echo in the past. Maybe it was you who said it to me.
Probably.
I don't know.
God, who knows?
Us when we were fighting the team and player support.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, Otacon is now, in addition to the cool lore that we got, a fixture in the map.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He has very specific spawn conditions.
Yeah, I've never seen him spawn bot lane, because that's where I play, and I'm bad, so...
I see him spawn bot lane. I know we played a game where he spawned bot lane.
Did we?
Fairly certain. Yeah.
Probably.
Well, to be fair, have you played any draft on with the Audi in the mix?
With Audi,
just with play?
No, only Swift play.
I mean, I'll be curious. I'll be really curious to see how he plays in more of a normal league match. That's what's hard for me, is that we've been trying out Swift play because we did quick play before, and I liked how quickly that got us into game. Swift play feels a little awkward, but it might just be that I'm used to a certain rhythm of the game, and it's obviously different.
Yeah, Swift play is not like, in case you're unfamiliar with kind of a lot of this, quick play, just everyone chooses their champions. There's no banning, there's no drafting. Everyone just gets to play what they want to play, and it just kind of gets you into game fast. Which Swift play, despite having a remarkably similar name, is not exactly the same. It they made a lot of changes to things like gold income. You get like a lot of passive gold income, much more similar to how like ARAMs work. I mean, the goal of the mode was so that you could play a normal game on Rift and still experience kind of like the end game power fantasy of your champion without needing to last 40 minutes.
Or play extremely well.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's not on the cards for me. Which, for that reason, I like a lot.
It's for sure a more relaxed version of Rift. Although if you're someone who wants to get more competitive and especially play ranked, it's probably going to make you so much worse at ranked. Yeah. So it's definitely for people who are more like John, who are like, I have zero interest in playing ranked ever.
But I love getting items. That's cool.
It's fun to get gold, I'm not gonna lie.
It is fun to be full build at like 20 minutes as a support, but
you know what I will say is that it's like very ironically named, because we played a 42-minute Swift play
the other
day.
We played 2 really long Swift play games recently. But I mean, I guess it happens with ARAMs occasionally too.
That's true.
But yeah.
I don't know. I say it sometimes when we're playing, where it's like alarm klaxons need to be blaring at Riot HQ right now. Some Swift play went past 40 minutes. Something horribly
Like we gotta
missed.
fuck it up. We fucked it up.
The game should just end at 40 minutes. It's like draw.
Like
Get better at
TFT.
killing the Nexus.
I'm glad it didn't. Didn't we win that one?
I think so.
Yeah,
We
I
were
think we did.
losing.
Yeah. They normally
you killed
don't last that long, I'll say.
No,
and they're
no.
real fun when you're winning really hard.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in addition to adding Otacon to the map, by the way, which for the record we hinted at a little bit, but he'll like spawn in either top lane or bottom lane depending on where the most action's happening, basically.
I think it's damage, yeah.
Yeah, I think damage and also the type of Otacon that spawns will also change depending on how much damage has been dealt. In like high action games, you'll get, I think it's the high action ones that is the one that increases the bonuses from epic monsters, and then the low action games are the ones that will give you basically like a free guardian angel for your entire team that's like a single use, but instead of respawning you where you died, it'll respawn you back at base, which
So
is
when this came
pretty
out,
fucking cool.
I was reminded so heavily of the ultimate for your. If you go back to our Lore Lab episode for Thaddeus, his ultimate was markedly similar. Riot, once again, picking
Riot,
a pocket of the
listening
League
to our
of Loreheads.
podcast.
Are we stealing from John? Give him some credit at least. Send him a check. Come on.
But no, I mean, I think that really, to me, that just it says like, yeah, you really found a neat little lever for handling like a revive mechanic that Riot obviously found, kind of had keyed into also. So
Or stole.
it's neat. Or so, yeah, flagrant copy.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, you know, like it incentivizes, and I like that it happens in low action games, right? Because it really incentivizes the team that gets it to just be like, you have a time limit too. Like it doesn't last until you use it. It lasts for a certain period of time. So like you're really incentivized to just like, all right, fucking balls to the wall. Let's do this. We have one get out of jail free card. Let's tower dive, baby.
It is really demoralizing in a way it's hard to describe when you're sitting there fighting somebody and you see that stupid GA and you're like, I know that if I kill you, it's just like, I'm sure there's like, you know, there's the reasonable reply is that like, well, now you have a little tempo to do something on the map. And that is true, but it is like, I'm about to kill this guy again in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
What's more demoralizing is when you don't see it and you're like, I got him.
Fuck.
And then you didn't get him.
Withdrawing. Yeah.
Especially when I forget that I assume it's a guardian angel. Like, oh, I didn't see that they had guardian angel. Let me put a Caitlyn trap down. Oh, fuck.
Flash
That
is
didn't do anything.
Big fucking idiot.
Withdrawing the dopamine from my brain from
Oh,
that
shit.
kill I got.
My brain does that on its own enough, so I don't really need
Right.
Hottie's help.
But in addition to that, too, he will also spawn roses when he dies and also when people die around him. And the roses give you experience for your entire team, plus they give you adaptive power, energy. I forget what it's called. Adaptive something. Adaptive force for your entire team.
Either way, it sounds like an energy
Adaptive
drink.
juice.
Yeah, adaptive
right.
juices. But also, they changed visuals up, you know? The towers are much more like Noxus themed towers. They've got like different targeting animations. The shopkeeps on both sides are Noxus themed. They actually look like they've been invited to the ball.
The masquerade.
The masquerade.
I should
Minions
look
are
at them.
Noxus
I never
themed.
look at the shopkeepers. I'm such a bad customer. I'm just like flinging money at them. Be like,
Give
don't
me
even
my
look at
fucking
me.
item.
You, Doran's blade, now.
You, come
Like
here.
snapping and
Snap
shit.
it at me. How do you feel about the visuals? I'll say like it's very cool. It's not my taste. I'm missing the green and the trees.
Well, one thing I do
Yeah,
like
it's-
actually is like they, in order to keep the visual clarity of jungle at least, they didn't change the jungle at all. It's just the lanes that they gave the Noxus theme to.
It's kind of muted in its I guess it works good for this like post Christmas like winter where everything's just kind of brown and dead.
That's
and
the
gray
thing.
and
Wait,
shit.
we're already in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you had said we were playing a game the other night, and I think you had said that what's exciting about it is that like they could they could do other things, right? Like what would an Ionia map look like, or Shadow Isles, right?
I'm so excited
you could really have a lot of
for
fun
those
with it.
nature-themed towers for Ionia.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very like Wood Elf from Warcraft 3, I feel like. It's going to look very cool.
Yeah, I think that's exciting. I'd be curious to see them do things with it that are not so specifically like regions is an obvious one, but they only have so many, right? So I'll be curious to see. And this is kind of goes for the whole season thing that they're doing when they kind of pull it away from regions and into something else, right? What are they going to do? Are they going to do champions? Are they going to go A to Z through their the champions?
And if they find like certain styles are like very popular or anything like that, like we know they started selling custom Nexus kills in like the Mythic shop. Is there a future where we start seeing purchasable map skins now that they are doing more of them and limited time ones?
I don't think so.
Interesting. I'd be curious.
Especially
curious.
because of all the success we've seen doing it on TFT. We're like,
that's true. I would like them to. I think it'd be cool, but we'll see.
I mean, if they feel like it's, what would I say? Because they're using the map skins in like competitive, right? Pro play.
Pro play. Probably.
Yeah. I think they are using them because I think one of the goals was specifically to not impact, high level play with the changes. I think that was one of the big reasons they left the jungles intact. And
that makes sense, right? And also, you want people who are watching pro play to when they go on the Rift to be able to be like,
true.
It wants to be pretty 1-to-1, right? I assume. Just in terms of like,
at least in visual, if not in talent.
Yeah, I'll say that, right? Well, yeah. So given that, I think that absolutely could be a goal of it, right? I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. I mean, but I like the original Summoner's Rift too, so maybe I'm easy peasy. I don't know.
Maybe they'll sell like OG Rift.
They
do you want it to look like shit? Here you go.
More and more, we throw these ideas around, like, just make it look like crap again.
Right.
Honestly, we're always like playing the shittiest skins and getting excited when people play ugly ass old skins.
They do need to figure out a way to make it so that it is just a skin, right? And not like a complete re-rig. Because there were a lot of those issues when the patch first got released where like the towers had different ranges than non-skins towers and shit like that. Like they do need to figure out a way to make it much more overlay and less of complete recode. But
see, that's what I would have thought would have been the goal. One of the goals of this release, if that's a target, right? But who knows? I mean,
maybe it was a goal, and they were just like, we can't get it out in time. Let's just fucking do it.
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's fine. I thought you were going to talk about like what other like Nexus finishers they might drop. I was trying to imagine. I want to see a big old Darius Axe cut a Nexus in half.
Right? That'd be... And I mean, this is one of the things, too, like, having played TFT, there's, like, I want to say 50 or more, like, unique finishing moves for...
That's true, yeah.
For TFT, like, there's a lot of cool shit they can do if they want. I guess it's just a matter of two... It's very easy when you've just got the one... Like, if one person has it equipped, cool, everyone sees that one. But, like, when 5 people have 5 separate ones equipped, does everyone just see their own? Do you choose one at random amongst the 5 to display? Does it matter?
Like
does it determine who gets the last hit on the Nexus?
I want to see people get mad toxic about not getting to see their cool Nexus finisher.
You know what, though?
Pay $10 for this.
That would be like, finally people would hit the fucking Nexus.
That's true.
That's
just camping in front of the fountain.
What if they give you 1 RP?
We've won games, though, because of that.
Legit. Yeah.
Now there was a few other non-visual changes to this set too.
This TFT,
set,
man.
look at this guy. To be fair, we've been talking about it a lot.
I guess.
Yeah.
And one of which doesn't impact me at all because I suck. But Mark, how do you feel about the minion changes?
The truth is it's the thing is I've been playing too much Swift play, so I don't have a good sense of it. I've been baited by new teleport a number of times.
I don't think I've even seen it yet.
I'll TP to a minion, and it's like the minion dies. I was like, oh, that's maybe it's been a minute since I've been able to do that.
Does it not get invulnerability anymore?
No, it does not. Much to my chagrin, I discovered.
I didn't know that.
Interesting. I knew that they changed it so you could teleport to minions before it unleashed. I didn't realize they took away the invulnerability. That's weird, given that it takes so much longer to teleport now. It seems like that'd be more important than ever.
Yeah.
Teachable moment. Just know. That's what will happen. The fucking minion will die, and then whoever you're laning against is like, well, there's the big circle. I'm going to kill this Anivia, and then that's what happens. So,
well, now I know that I can kill the minion if I see somebody TPing to it.
It still goes through, yeah.
Oh, it goes through even if the minion dies?
Yeah, the minion dies, and the TP goes through, but you can't, hold a wave up or something like that, for example.
I see.
So maybe you're just, now in turret range getting blasted in the face.
Yeah, some old bullshit, right? Yeah, I haven't had enough time to really get a sense of it, I'll be honest with you. I would like to, that's why I would like to try out some more draft in regards to, Otacon, because I'd be curious to see how it affects sort of, lane assignments in the mid-game, where, maybe you would have played a specific side lane and maybe they might change. You might overload another side because Otacon spawned on it way more than you would have before. I don't know. I'll be interested. Because, if you got Otacon in bot lane and Dragons up, it's that bot side is there's no... It's just interesting the way it might shift how people move around the map a little bit. But I don't have enough sense of it yet, to be honest with you.
We'll just have to do more Swift play.
That's the opposite of what he said.
I want to be able to I want to go through a draft is the thing, right? It takes so long. People sit there for the whole 30 seconds. It's like, dude, we're playing normal drafts. Just pick Master Yi and be done with it.
Right. They wait for the last second and then they're like, I'm gonna dodge.
Yeah.
Dodging, the last person dodging or some shit.
So I would like some sort of, I don't know, quick playback, I guess.
Right, I know.
That was the entire reason we swapped from draft to quick play, was because we got tired of people fucking dodging and it taking 30 minutes to get into a game.
Mm-hmm.
I get enough of that shit in ranked. Not that I've played that much recently. So. But yeah, it's the same with the roses. Is that when I've been playing those Swift play games, I felt like I have not seen many roses. I had one spawn one time in my mid lane, and I was like, oh, look at that.
Hi, someone brought me flowers.
Yeah. So I feel like on a longer time scale, it might feel more. Maybe it would feel more like a pain in the butt to have to go around and just do a little gardening. So much. I don't know. I don't know how strong they are, I suppose.
Infernal Drake thing, then you're collecting all kinds of shit.
Right. They're not so for the record, the petals... I think the petals give you 0.5 adaptive force, and the full roses give you 1 adaptive force, each one you get. But it's for your entire team, even if you get it.
It's like that. I thought
plus
a little
bit
XP.
Experience. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll be really interested to see how often it is that you ding a level off of a rose or roses that your team's collected. I feel like it's got to be a pretty minor bump. I wish I should look at the numbers, right? That'd probably be the way I understand.
I thought it was 50 or 100, but maybe I'm making that up.
The thing about League, right, is that it's so much a feel game. You can sit there and look at an item, for example, and be like, this gives me 80 attack damage or whatever, but you don't know what that means until you've bought that versus bought something that gives you 60 attack damage, and you can feel, okay, this doesn't feel right. I'm not killing things the way I should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a numbers person when it comes to League. It's just a feeling.
I distinctly remember the first time I didn't take Hail of Blades on Tristana. And was that too. Fucking confused.
I know, yeah.
Why can I not pop this goddamn bomb?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think most League is mostly feeling, right? It's you can have
the
these
pros
people...
are doing the numbers, I assume, but I ain't.
I mean, maybe pros. Pros is that's so upper echelon, but I think you absolutely would have people who are I say this with no experience in super high elo or even knowing somebody who's super high elo, but I think you could have someone who's a master GM who knows how to play exceptionally well to the point that it's not even a conscious decision, but they could not articulate why they make those decisions necessarily. It's just it feels good when my lane is here, and it's oh yeah, I just kind of feel that Lee Sin is going to be here, so I want to back off. It's not something so yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, you play enough games, something will happen enough times that you expect it to happen even though you don't know why it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, get that game sense, bro. Get that
right?
game.
Shit, when does mine kick in?
Now, the other big change was the feats of strength, right?
Yes. I'm hearing from a lot of, and by I say I saw on TikTok and stuff like that, people talking about how much pressure this is putting on jungle now, the jungler, and just they already get blamed for everything, right? But now, like, losing first blood, losing a tower, not getting these monsters, not paying attention to Ahri. I do like Audie. That's good. It's just they're getting flamed way harder than before.
Which is rough because they were already getting flamed pretty damn hard.
It's interesting.
I do like the idea in theory, right? Like, it is like, I mean, that being said, I think in all the games I've played in Swift Play so far, we have gotten the feats of strength. So it hasn't necessarily. I think it's probably a very bad feeling when you lose out on that and realize that, like, you're never going to be able to get those upgraded boots.
Just staring at them through the window, through the shop window. Please keep her.
Right.
You shouldn't have spit in my face. Whatever.
You should have killed that guy better.
Also, just looking at the upgraded boots, why does it feel like the 2 fucking tank boots are way stronger than all the other boots again?
Riot loves tanks. Loves them.
I mean, they're just kind of cute. I don't know, like they got something about them, right? A little thickness to them.
You get like, so for both plated steel caps and merc treads, you get either a magic shield or a physical shield that's like up to 100 plus 5% of your max health as a shield, like every 12 seconds or some shit like that. Like after you take damage.
Sure, yeah.
It's interesting. I'm interested because I feel like the boots are. I felt like there's somewhat of a bait where I certainly wouldn't buy them before I have 3 items. I feel like
it's interesting. I watched KP and she was saying that Lucas, Santorin, her husband, was saying that you should get them as soon as you can.
Which, to be fair,
really? Well, I mean,
that's only after 2 items.
Yeah,
so.
You have to have 2 items.
You have to have 2 items before you can buy them anyway.
Oh, I didn't even know that. See,
yeah.
Like that shows how informed I am, right?
Well, I guess at Swift Play, you're generally going to have 2 of those items before.
Oh man, talk about being messed up. I'd be like, okay, I should probably base now. Let's see how much gold I have. Oh,
4,000.
Yeah. That's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
What have I even done? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing too. Is like I'm just so not keyed into it that it's not even on my radar when it comes to feats of strength. It's something that I noticed on the scoreboard at like minute 12. Where it's like, I'm trying to see what's going on. What's the next objective? Oh, I guess somebody got feats of strength. I don't know.
It's putting a lot more attention on macro play, which, like, at our level, our elo, people don't have. So, like, I feel like when it comes to macro play mistakes, it's the jungler's fault. It's just so many people, right? And it's like, it's not just their fault. You also need to have macro play going on,
Yeah, if anything, it is the cause of me making way more macro mistakes. I'm like, oh, I could stick around for this turret. We haven't gotten first turret
true.
yet. I
You're
could get
constantly
this shit.
being like, no, we can get this turret.
We can get this.
Trying to have 50
like, oh, no, fuck, I died. Oh, no, they got first turret because they counter pushed. My bad, guys, my bad.
I mean, I remember one game, like, the other night, it's like, okay, nice, we got first turret. It's like, we got first turret 4 minutes ago.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, it's good that the bot turret's down. I'm just,
I never know what's going on top lane, I think.
Yeah. I can't be expected to read.
It's so far away. What are they going to do up there that's going to affect me,
That's why, like, I'd be interested to see more games where, you got, like, Otacon spawning top, right? Where it's like, you maybe would have never seen Riven until level 13. Or some old bullshit, just some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But now it's like Riven and some other volatile top laner have been fighting all game. It's like, well, now Otacon's up there. Now we're having a full team fight in top lane at minute 20 for some reason. Compared to that would have never happened maybe before. I don't know.
That's true.
So yeah, it's
also, I didn't read any changes about this, so I feel like this may just be like, maybe it's just the games I've played in, but I feel like there's not nearly as high a level gap anytime I come across a mid laner or a top laner. Because like when I go up to Otacon, like I feel like they're usually like maybe 1 level above me.
Which like in normal Rift, they're usually like 3 or 4
3 or fucking 4 levels.
Even if you're doing
they
well.
Look at me and I die.
Yeah.
Well, I think top lane, from what I know, This is again. I don't play top lane. I can't remember. The last time I played it, it was like I don't even remember. But I think top lane, because it's a long lane, but still that solo lane is like when you get behind, it's like terribly punishing, right? And that's why you get those big XP diffs, or level diffs. So maybe in Swift play, because I think they have like ambient or sort of area, like I think the XP area is increased and things like that. I'm sure it's just like reduced significantly.
I just wasn't sure if the slowing level is still in effect in Swift play, because bot lane levels slower than everywhere else.
Like even in addition to like you're already getting half experience because you're sharing everything with your support, but then they also nerfed how much they got on top of that.
But I don't think that's in effect in Swift play, but I'm not positive. I didn't look at that.
That'd be pretty cool.
It didn't feel like it when I was playing bot lane.
Yeah, it felt, again, going back to the feelings, it felt good.
It felt good. It felt like I was the same level as other people, even playing the sport, or at least close.
Well, something I want to try with it is, Sarah will play ARAMs with us, but she doesn't really play any Rift, and I'd be curious to see how it felt for her to come in and tool around in a Swift play.
I wonder if it would feel more comfortable or not.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, outside of Rift, in case, or unless we had any other Rift-specific things we wanted to touch on.
I don't think so.
No, I guess I would say wrapping it broadly, I am excited about them tying things so heavily to the world and the lore, and like not being afraid of bringing that to the forefront of all the players, and really
I'm curious if it has to do with Arcane, because I know people started playing League because of Arcane. They wanted to know more about these characters. They felt attached to them, and they're getting more invested in the lore. I don't know.
Although apparently not as much as they thought about. I saw a bunch of those articles that was like, Arcane did not drive people to League. Like,
I didn't think it was going to drive people to League at all, so I was surprised anybody. But anyway.
So we have like, again, we did a reaction to this if you want to see it in more detail, but in terms of the cinematic and how that kind of lore impacts Noxus stuff, I think one thing that we saw from Arcane already, but we're seeing in the cinematic, is that Mel has arrived in Noxus. Not Noxus proper yet. Looks like she's still on the outskirts at the Nox Terra. I don't know whether the cinematic was like a vision of what she was going to see when she got to Noxus proper or what.
And then she still was like I'm still going. Yeah.
But on her way to Noxus proper, the Black Rose is aware of it. Vladimir seems keen to do something about it. LeBlanc is there.
Being sexy and cool with her black fingies.
Her new visual redesign. Yeah.
I'm really excited Vlad's
all according
there.
to plan.
I wasn't sure if they were going to play with Vlad at all, because I know he like had a hand in creating the Black Rose, but in the lore so far, he's been kind of separated from it. And I don't know, hanging in his castles, like growing plants and shit. What a mood.
Orphan tears.
Yeah. So I am excited that he's really involved. I wonder if we will see by the end him separating from the Black Rose and kind of ending up there, but who knows.
And one thing kind of to touch upon too, because we read the lore for the skin line. That was canon. And one of the things the skin line is basically like all of the lore for the individual champions is just the invite that they received from Elise to the party.
Oh, that's fun.
And Vladimir's was very much like, hey, we're having a ball. Before you say anything, I know you feel like this is beneath you, but like, we really need you to recruit some new members here because of, some changes in leadership recently.
Some changes in leadership.
So like he was invited to glad hand the external Noxus recruits, which for the record are Ezreal, who they refer to in the invite as, what was it? Jarro Lightfeather.
Jarro Lightfeather. Oh, yeah. Lovely.
They do refer to him as name by the end. They're like, hello, Jarro Lightfeather. Like, I've heard you've done great heroic deeds, and, you're the type of person we would like on our side. So, come on down, Jarro, or I guess if we can speak plainly, Ezreal.
That's fine.
They invited Renata. They're like, hey, we've seen a lot of increased influence in Zon and Piltover, and we'd love to help you. Yeah, we'd love to help you increase that influence. So come on down, baby.
Come on down, Renata.
They invited Samira. And they were like, I think, if I remember correctly, it was Samira. Samira was recommended by her.
She doesn't have a skin.
Her wait, what?
Handler.
I think she does. It might be, maybe it's Rift exclusive or something.
Like Wild Rift.
But like, the one who shows up in all of the Samira stories, basically, the one who like gives her quests. Yeah, that's her. They're like, oh, we were recommended. Mask of the Black Rose Renata Glask.
It didn't pop up.
Mask of the Glask.
Mask of the Glask. But yes, Indari.
Oh, Indari.
Indari
is something else.
And then Vladimir, who was specifically like, hey, we invited a bunch of people to this. We really need you to get them on board here. Because, like, you're very charismatic, basically.
Do they need it all that, like, also turn them into vampires or something like that, maybe? He's not a vampire. He's a hemomancer. Sorry.
I don't think this is out quite yet, is it? Oh, I love it. I have every Renata skin, though. I don't need this one.
I'm trying to see. There was someone I remember specifically that they said they were being specifically invited because of their loyalty to Borm Darkwill.
And who was being invited?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who specifically was invited for this?
Or Talon, or I'm just listing.
I know I'm not
champions.
Am I just like? Am I imagining this? Am I high? Let's see.
Maybe
he could be. He might be.
I don't think Ezreal was very close to Born Darkwill.
Let's see.
I like this canon skin thing they're doing, by the way. This and the Chosen of the Wolf. Mm-hmm. This is an exciting turn, I'll say.
Yeah, I like this too. Because there are a lot of times when, I don't know, champions are doing some other shit, and you're like, yes, I want that look for the champion.
Yeah. And they seem to have done that almost with like the arcane skins, right? And they kind of realize, oh, right, they can wear different clothes, right? And not have it be like in an alternate fantastical universe where Katarina decides to wear jeans.
They're not
right?
cartoons, like they can wear another outfit.
So, it's exciting. And the fact that they're pulling it into cinematics is even more exciting, frankly. Mm-hmm. Like, I like their commitment to the one shared universe thing that they really seem to be trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, I found it.
Hell yeah.
Anyone who is part of the partner program in League also received one of these invites.
Oh, interesting.
The partners received an invite that said, for your remarkable contributions to the Empire of Noxus and your noted loyalty to our former Grand General Darkwill, you're invited to the Silken Den.
And we didn't get one of these?
Right? I guess we're not partnered, to be fair. Maybe we are, and we just forgot about it. So Necrit got one of these, for example? That's fun.
Yeah.
Did all the people who were on the wiki or whatever get one of these? I hope so.
They should have, or at least the people who took part in like the conversion to, universe.
Yeah. You know what? We probably have enough listeners to be partners, but I don't think they count listeners on like Spotify. It's always like visual things, like video.
I guess
and streaming.
But I don't think they want to associate with us.
I don't think they want us at all. They're too busy stealing John's ideas.
That's neat though. This is also neat because it does kind of help us center the timeline a little bit, right? With Arcane, right?
Right. That was something we were curious about.
I mean, we had Swain Ravens kicking around, but we didn't quite know what was the situation was. So.
Right. Like we weren't sure if they were Swain Ravens necessarily, or just like the Rom Ravens.
Rom Raven. Yeah. Rom. That's my favorite ice cream.
Rom.
Raven ice cream. That's gotta be in the Noxus universe. Stupid.
What's the basket? Oh my god, basilisk. No, whatever. I'm over.
He's done. Anyway, you don't need to make more ice creams. That was the
no.
Got it in one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's part of the cinematic. Oh yeah, the other part of the cinematic was we get kind of younger Darius fighting fucking Trundle, which was
Yeah.
cool as fuck.
Trundle tried to rip off his head, I think. That's
He
where he was
really
going.
did.
He really
And
wanted
he
to
ripped
rip
off,
his head.
he ulted and ripped off all of his armor. He just shredded it entirely.
Yeah, they would think about that's he did in that, like, yeah, the bite is his cue. Oh, I didn't think about that. You're totally right. That's
Why
very
didn't Darius
creative little
dunk? God damn. He's supposed to jump like 10 feet in the air.
bit. Right, maybe he's not 6 yet. Maybe that's what happened, is that Trundle dinged 6
Ooh.
first.
Right? He dinged
Oh,
6 right
5.
before the fight. Unlucky.
Sucks. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really fun sequence. I wish I had talked about it more when we did the reaction, honestly, because the fact that they kind of dropped the music out, and, you know, I always liked all the heaviness in the arcane fight sequences, and that's very, very, like, there's a lot of weight to that
There
little thing.
was. Yeah, it made it very realistic. I was getting a little like skeeved out when he was trying to pull off Darius's head. I'm like, I feel like this is what it would look like if a troll
Right?
tried to pull off a man's head. Yeah, so I'm glad he failed.
I feel like we've almost exclusively seen Darius in these situations where, like, he's either really overpowering someone or, like, he's getting hit and it's like
Nothing. Yeah.
and like
He gets his ass
seeing
kicked. Dude.
Trundle just fucking wreck that. Just like, hey, this is a giant pauldron you got here. Woo, gone. Get fucked. Crush head. Like, cool as
And he said
fuck.
that
He
too.
said that too.
Crush it.
Yeah, it looked very fucking cool. You really get a sense of kind of Trundle's power here, which is
I
nice.
know. I wasn't expecting to see Trundle of
Right?
all people
Yeah,
here.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then something we kind of noted at the very end with the little post, not credits, but post League of Legends title sequences, like the LeBlanc and Vladimir sort of scheming, right? And some dagger that seems to be, you know, a key thing that they're going to be playing with here.
Yeah,
Seems to
just
have
like some sort of like blade with an eye in the middle.
Yeah, it
of
looked a
it.
little
Oh,
like a
an eye, is what we
Nefiri
thought?
blade there, a little bit.
Something,
Yeah,
something, or something.
It looks smaller than a sword.
That's what
Bigger
she
than a
said.
bread
Bigger than a bread box.
Okay, I didn't get that joke there. I made it about dicks. Sorry.
No, that mine was too. It was bigger than a bread box.
Ow.
But yeah, I'm really interested because I want to like look at it side by side with a Nefiri dagger, because as I'm thinking about it, I feel like that Nefiri dagger a little different in its design. It doesn't have like the swords. What do you call it? The cross guard. You know what
Right,
I'm
it doesn't
talking
have
about?
the, yeah, there was definitely a cross guard that
Yeah,
that
so
Nefiri
maybe-
didn't have.
Maybe this is something
Oh,
else.
yeah. Yeah, this doesn't really look like that dagger.
Let's see.
The thing is, it's not like a photo that she's looking at of the thing. It's
True.
a smoke
Yeah.
drawing that she
Swirly
made.
smokes. I don't know. It could be something that we have nothing to do with. Okay, he's on a Reddit thread. Is this a darkened weapon?
Mhm. Let's see. It looks like
Yes.
it's 1,000. Someone says it's 1,000% related to demonology.
Oh.
Let's see. There's a
thought that
sword
was
in
also-
the
yeah.
demonology rune page there.
I don't think they know that exists, Riot. I think they forgot.
they spent all their time remembering Elise and Trundle, and they forgot. It's like we
Yeah.
can't look at
Yeah.
anything else.
Let's see.
I mean, who
Which
knows,
I
right?
mean,
I mean,
I guess
that's-
to be fair, if we're talking about demons,
Otacon, right?
I was gonna say it's very Otacon coded.
That's true. It's probably just fucking Otacon, dumbasses. I was like, oh, the
Yeah,
theory
you know,
gonna
we-
be coming?
We might be. You know, what do we know? We're still figuring things out. We're learning. Come on
We
this
hear
journey
you.
with us.
We're listening. We're learning. Oy.
Yeah, is there anything else?
Yeah, could be
Are you
that.
still perusing your Reddit?
He is still
I
producing.
am still perusing
No
to see if
worries.
anyone has any.
I'm
other
I'm
theories
curious,
about-
right? Like if there's something else. But I mean, it's not like, to your point, right? Like it reads kind of like a darkened weapon.
It does, because they all got eyeballs on them and stuff.
Yeah, they got eyeballs in them. Yeah,
They got eyeballs in them. Just a big eyeball.
it's weirdos.
Okay.
Yeah,
In this
was
thread,
there
they
anything else
did.
we wanted
They did talk about how it could be Otacon.
Let's see. Oh, some people think that it looks similar to Riven's broken blade.
She just kind of have a circular thing going on, but I
Could
thought
it also
her
look
blade
like-
has more like a curved
sorry.
edge on one side.
I was thinking it almost looked like Echo's weapon after it broke at the end. But not really. Yeah.
That would be neat if they got a little piece of it.
Be interesting if Riven
Whatever.
was brought into this. I don't know though. It makes more sense that it'd be
Riven would
tied to Mordekaiser and Otacon, but
It would
Yeah,
make
right.
sense
That
why
seems to be a
they.
big push of it.
yeah.
We know that there was a lot of resources dedicated to getting that sword back.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
What's
I don't know. I'm curious.
Riven sword.
Oh,
They sent that whole strike squad to get Riven
that's
sword back.
true.
Yeah.
To get Riven, we know it was to get the sword back.
Riven is the sword. She is the
yeah.
sword.
Is she not the blade
sword is
broken?
Riven.
I'm the blade, and
It can be reforged though. The cannon.
But don't reforge it.
But
Unless
if you
have
did,
to.
like,
Yeah. Then maybe I can be reforged.
yeah. Anything else with the new season? Anything else with the new changes? Or the cinematic? Y'all feel anything else?
Oh, we didn't
Wanna
really
talk about
talk about
ranked or
this here. We
anything?
talked about it a lot in the reaction, but like fucking Elise and Katarina.
They look so
Cool as
good.
fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
cool. Elise looks so fucking cool,
Elise looks
guys.
So badass.
When her little giant spidey legs came out and her fucking scary red face.
Right?
And
Yeah,
her
the scary red face. is
normally
what done
sized tits.
The
it was
scary
great.
red face was terrifying. It
Yeah.
was like if you've seen that, the faceless from Avatar, it was just so like, bam.
Yeah, yeah. Her legs coming out of the crowd, that was so cool. I would have shit my pants right there. And not in that good way that I talk about sometimes.
fear
Has that
ones.
been the good way that you've been
I
talking
just
about this whole
say, if
time?
something exciting happens, I'll shit my pants. This would be a bad shit my pants. Like something
You got
bad.
like a
happened.
you got like a big whiteboard. At least fear shit.
Fear
$1 million
shit.
celebratory shit, right?
Vladimir showing up in the cinematic, good shit.
Both,
Wait, did you shit
right?
yourself?
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. It's a medical situation. You're gonna have to help me.
Biohazard over there. Right? You've done it again.
That's what Poppy's been training you for. Hey,
Well, that's probably it then.
I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
talking about some of the new stuff coming out. It's exciting. It's really exciting. It feels like a whole brand new league in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to us yapping away about the League of Legends, the game. Like, who plays it? Yuck. Anyway, we have a twitch.tv/lowerheads. John streams on Saturday evenings, usually around like 7:30 EST. He plays TFT and ARAMs with viewers. We have something else. YouTube, if you want to see our reactions to the Noxus video. I'm sure it was really great. And normal.
Thumbs down.
I'm
Thumbs
sure we
down.
didn't talk about
100%
anything
dislike.
weird
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, show it to
We
your
kept
friends,
it
your family,
on
your
target.
grandmothers, your babies.
Talk about how disrespectful it is. So when people Google disrespectful Noxus, we'll come up. We also have a Discord if you want to know why we're not posting updates all the time during flu season. We'll let you know. It's been flu and COVID this year, I gotta say. Having a toddler is great.
For 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you can join the Discord and maybe chat with people instead of just hearing about our illnesses. Whatever floats.
It's mostly illnesses. It's like
mostly
90%.
us.
90%.
All the times I
Illness
shit my
updates.
pants, I post it. There's a Rebecca pants shitting update.
Yeah, it's a weird photo gallery, but here we are.
Yeah, well, they asked for it. We also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Mr. Dead and King of Hearts. If y'all were fighting Trundle and you had your armor ripped off, I'd probably do something instead of just kind of standing around and letting Trundle crush your face.
Oh yeah, all his friends were just like standing there watching. Yeah,
But
they
this is
knew.
like when you got the two top laners up there. You gotta go and let them. You can go interrupt their top lane fight.
If the Darius can't kill the Trundle, my fucking dumbass Lulu support's not gonna do it.
I want to see Darius spam pink question marks on all those Noxus.
Somebody needs to edit that.
Oh,
For
question
sure.
mark, question mark, question mark.
GG Jungle Diff. But anyway, please be sure to join us next week. We'll be getting around to talking about another region. We didn't officially lock it in, but I assume that's what we're doing next, y'all. We're gonna get good and cold, and talk about the Freljord.
Hey, it's snowing outside my window right now.
Is
True
it?
here, yeah.
I didn't know it was snowing.
Yeah.
Fate has spoken. For all you-
Nice.
Shurima it is.